Good morning, everybody. My name is Amanda Collett, and I am here to talk to you about coding. You are welcome to answer me in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, or we can ask the host to unmute you, and then you can answer me. Who knows what coding is? If I talk about coding, what do I mean? I see Zoe is here and Charlton is here. Anybody that wants to tell us what they think coding is? Rarak, do you want to tell me what you think coding is? Refilwe? Okay, so it seems like nobody wants to give us the answer yet, but I'm sure as the lesson goes along, you will become more talkative. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what coding is, why do we need to code, where can coding be used, and different coding languages. Okay, so coding is the method of giving instructions to a computer to perform a specific task. Who of you have given someone an instruction before? Zoe, have you given someone an instruction before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, Zoe, I can't hear you. Let me quickly see if there's a problem on my side. Yes, I found the problem. Okay, Zoe, quickly say that again, please. Okay. So Nukwanda says that they have given someone an instruction. Can you type for me in the chat what instruction have you given someone before? I know when I was in grade 4 or 5, I used to tell my brother to go and fetch me something to drink, like cool drink, etc. And I also enjoyed telling my sister what to do. So just like that, we can tell a computer what it needs to do. So it needs to perform a specific task. So the first thing that I want to show you is that we can give a computer instructions just like we can use to find a treasure on a map. So as you can see, there's a little ship over here, and then there's a long road that it can follow. And then at the end, there's a little cross where we can see that is our destination. Okay, so now we have these stripes on the paper that kind of shows us how many steps we need to follow. Does that make sense? So if I had to tell the boat to go to the island or the rock, how many steps would I ask the boat to follow? If we count the lines, we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are at the rock. So who thinks that the boat needs to go 4 steps to get to the rock, and who thinks that the boat needs to go 5 steps? Please type for me in the chat and tell me how many steps do you think the boat needs to follow to get to the rock? Okay, Zoe says 4. So let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then I'm only at the last step. and I'm not at the rock yet. So would that be 4 or 5 steps that I need to follow? 5, Nkwanda says. Okay, yes, it needs to follow 5 steps. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck just before the destination. So let's count how many steps it needs to follow from the rock, the gray rock, to the patch of sand. Okay, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 5, Nkwanda says. Yes, I agree. Is there anybody that says it needs to be 4 steps? Okay, Nkwanda says 5. Okay. Let's quickly, from this brown patch of sand to the big patch of green grass and trees. How many steps do we need to follow to get there? I'm not going to give you a tip. Okay, some stuff here saying 5. Is anybody saying 6? Is anybody saying 5? Is anybody saying 4? Okay, Refilway also says 5 steps. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, well done, everyone. You are correct. Now I want to see fastest finger first. Who can tell me how many steps are needed from this green patch to the treasure? 11, Safia says. Let's see who else. Nkwanda also says 11. Anyone else? Rarak says 10. Let's give one more person a chance before we count together as a class. Rarak says 10. Zoe says 12. Kagisano says 11. Okay, let's quickly count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I've got my treasure. So we say 11 steps. Okay, are you ready to go over to the next slide? I'm gonna go over. Aha, now here is another treasure map, but as you can see, there's a correct route that it needs to follow, and then over here, and then there is a wrong route that ends up in the wrong place. So fastest finger first. Who can tell me how many steps is needed to get from the ship to the treasure, the shortest distance? You don't need to draw that, you can just count it on the screen. Okay, most people say 5. Let me see if there's another answer coming through. Okay, so the shortest route is 5. Okay, now if we have to go a longer route, how many steps would that be? If we go the long way around. Okay, the short way around is 5. If we have to go the long way around, what would that road be? 10, Zoe says. 14, Nkwanda says. Willow says 15. Let's wait for another try. 14 for Kagisana. Manji says 14. Let's quickly count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nee, so we need 13 steps to get to the treasure the long way round. Now, over here at the 2 rocks, we had to do something specific. We had to tell the computer to do something different. So just remember that at the back of your head that sometimes we have if and then statements in programming, because otherwise the computer wouldn't know that it needs to jump over there. but we are not too bothered about that now. We will talk about that a bit later. Okay, now I hope you guys have a piece of paper with you. I can't see your video, so I'm not sure if you have a piece of paper with you, but I want you to write steps for yourself to get from a chair to somewhere else in your house. So on your piece of paper, you are going to draw the chair, and then you are maybe going to draw the fridge or something that's a little distance away from you. And then you are going to work out how many steps is needed to get there. Okay. So first of all, you are drawing your chair. And then after that, you are going to draw something a little while away, and then you are going to program that for me, or you're going to write down the steps. Okay, so we're going to come back to this activity tomorrow. I can see Zoe is there. Zoe, do you have a piece of paper with you? Willow, do you have a piece of paper with you? Did you draw something on your piece of paper? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a chance until tomorrow, and then tomorrow morning at 9 we are going to chat about this, and then you guys are going to show me what you've done. Okay, so that's your first activity for tomorrow. And you don't only need to code the chair, you can code anything. You can also create your own treasure map and work out how many steps is needed to get from one side to another, because that is what we need to understand, and what we need to figure out is how do we work out the distance between different objects, and how do we work out the roadmap. Okay, so now we've spoken about coding, and it teaches us different skills. So the first thing that coding teaches us is problem solving, patience, creativity, because we need to be creative to figure out what route we need to follow to get to the treasure. We also need to learn to collaborate, because sometimes in coding, we don't really know the answer to something, and then we need to connect with somebody to find out what the answer is. Another thing that coding teaches us is storytelling, because it's a sequence of events. So in other words, every coding sequence has a beginning and an end. And we chose the route of finding a treasure. So we had someone that needed to find a treasure, and we needed to help them to find a route there. Okay, then we've got different programming languages. Who can type for me in the chat, what is a programming language? Is it like English and isiZulu and Xhosa and French and German? Or is it something completely different? I can see you guys are still thinking about it. So in programming languages, we use numbers and letters. It's not, you don't learn to say, for example, in Java, how to say good morning in that specific language. But like Willow says, it's a language that computers understand. So computers understand ones and zeros, and we need to tell them what to do. So as we told that the pirate, what route to follow to get to the treasure, we need to tell the computer what route to follow to do something specific for us. So on the screen, you can see there's a few different programming languages like Java and Python and Objective-C and Pascal and Swift. So there's a lot of different languages. for that computers understand, and it depends on what you want to achieve, what language you are going to learn. So this is an example of what a programming language looks like. So as you can see, they don't say good morning or goodbye or whatever else. It's a set of instructions. I see Rarak has seen this before. And Willow says this, they are the things that computers need to do. So as for us that are in grade 4, we don't need to know this yet. When we learn to program, we start with what we call block coding. I'm going to show you a picture of that now. So this is what block coding looks like. And there's quite a few languages or quite a few programs that teaches us how to block code. And the one that I'm most excited about is the South African one that we are busy with at the moment. And that one is called Mizora's language, because she's the one that's helping us with the school. So she is busy developing her own language. And it is a block coding language, and it will teach us how to code. So other examples are Tinker and Scratch and Code Monkey, etc. So for us here at the digital school, we are going to learn Mizora's language. But for now, I just wanted to show you what languages we have. We will most probably start early next week with Mizora's language, but we need to understand what coding is all about before we can go that route. I know you code with the other teacher. You use Scratch and Code.org with the other teacher. So this is what Mizora's platform looks like. I'm going to give you the website address very soon, and then you guys are going to sign in and start coding there. Okay, I see Willow have Scratch Junior. Yeah, I also enjoy Scratch as well, but I think that Mizora's one is going to be a lot cooler. And yes, Mizora is free. Okay, so now your homework for tomorrow is, the first thing is you need to draw a map and you need to code your brother or sister to follow the path. So for example, just as you drew the map of the chair, the route from the chair to the fridge, you are also going to draw a map from your room maybe to somewhere, and then you are going to ask your brother or sister or do it yourself to follow the routes. And then I want you to find out about different coding languages and tell us all about it tomorrow. So the more maps you draw with the more instructions, the easier it's going to be for you to code. So maybe look around your house and see what routes you usually walk. Maybe you can draw a map of yourself from the moment you get up from bed, and then maybe you brush your teeth and have breakfast, etc. And then we can see how we can code Mizora or to follow that specific route. Would that be fun for you? Because that's also how they code robots, is to follow different routes. Okay. And then I see Safia says it's fine with her. And then also, if you want to, you can go and look at playcodemonkey.com. It's a lot of fun. There's about 20 levels that you can do for free, just for you to figure out what routes you need to follow and how to work out how many steps you need to do. And then, of course, Scratch and then Tinker as well. All right. So that is all for today, because I've given you a lot of homework and I want your brains to rest and to be ready so that we can really start coding tomorrow. Is that all right with you guys? Okay, and then if you have any questions, you can email me. My email address is there. And then we will chat again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And I am looking forward to that lesson. Bye, everybody.